Daddy,
Mhm.
tell me about your years in medical school.
So when you say my years in medical school, that's a very broad question. So when in particular do you mean?
Like when you first started, stuff like that.
Okay,
Beginning.
I will say I'll talk about when I started the second year, because in my school, first year wasn't really medical school. That was the pre-medical school year where you just do like almost every course: physics, chemistry, biology, math, English, computer science, and all that. So when you say medical school, I would put it to from second year when we got into the medical school proper. So when you come to my school, so I went to Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Anambra State, southeastern part of Nigeria. So you had to do 1 year in Awka. Awka was the capital of the state, Anambra State. And then from second year, if you pass your exam, you move to the medical school campus, where you do second year, third year, fourth, fifth, and final year, which is the sixth year, and then you graduate. So prior to us getting into second year, we took a trip to Nnewi. Nnewi is where my medical school was. So when we got there that Saturday, I still remember that day. It was a Saturday. A couple of us went there, and we went around the campus. We're seeing all these medical students.
Who are you with?
My other classmates. So we were seeing all these medical students, and carrying the big books, and man, they looked like superheroes to us. Those books, and you see some of them, talking about what they're studying, and oh my goodness, they looked like superstars, because we didn't know what they were talking, and not knowing what they were talking. It was more about how they remembered those things they were saying, like about the bones, the nerves, and stuff like that. So I would remember very well, they took us to the anatomy lab, so where they had cadavers. Cadavers are like dead bodies that we caught, when we learn anatomy, because you have to learn about the whole body. So we did go to that lab. So one thing was significant about that trip to that anatomy lab. Our faces were there's this chemical they used to preserve the cadavers. It's called formalin. So the formalin, like, we could feel it in our eyes. It was so. I would say, which one will I use? It wasn't a comfortable experience. So I would say that was the exposure. And then finally, when I got to second year, that was in the medical school campus proper. The truth is, it was a whole different experience. Very different experience, new environment, and I knew that the work here was going to be a lot. So one significant thing about it was that I had to change a lot of things about me. One of them is I had to change, like, my reading habit. I had to change the friends that I was moving around with at the time, just to help me be in that space where I would be studying. And one thing with medical school in Nigeria was difficult. The fact that you got into medical school didn't mean that you're going to graduate. You could be kicked out anytime. Because I know a lot of people, smart people, who got kicked out, But like I said, I had to change my friends, and those friends of mine, I still talk with them till today. I had to start moving in different circles. I used to play soccer, and after some point, I stopped playing soccer for a while, so I could just focus. So it was another thing about the place was it was a little bit depressing, because our medical school was in a town known as Okofia, and in Igbo language, Okofia means thick forest. So it was like in a bush. So while we were, you're isolated from every other person, just you yourself, you the medical student. So all you saw was just trees and forest. You can imagine that. And also you had to just study. And one thing that made it depressing was every time they sang it in your head, oh, you will fail. If you don't, you will fail. People are being kicked out, So with that mindset, a lot of people studied with fear, not really understanding what they studied with fear. So what that fear did to some people was it made them not really put their whole mind into it. They just had that doubt. It made them doubt themselves. While some people took that fear and turned it into something positive for themselves. Someone like me, I'll say, it always spurred me on every time, even when things were a little difficult. I kept going and going and going. So it's a whole big story to it that I cannot just finish your one video. But you know, I don't know if there's any other question you have specifically.
Did you guys have like dorm rooms or stuff?
So there were hostels. You know, some were hostels, but with the way it was set up, we used to stay in what we call lodges. So somebody may have a house and then rent out a room, like in their house. I mean, I say somebody, the people the villagers, you know, or somebody may just build a house and then rent out rooms. I mean, but we had some hostels, like one of the girls had one hostel, but not everybody stayed in hostel. But I lived in a lodge. I remember the name of my lodge was no. That's I forgot the name of my lodge. If I remember it, I'll let you know. Atlanta Hostel. Yeah, that was the name of my lodge. It was a lodge, so I stayed in this room, and you know, I did away with my TV, my VCD. We used to call it VCD. That it was a video compact disc. I think that was the name. That's the full name. And then we used to watch. I actually bought that thing because I wanted to watch another videos, but after some time, I just felt I didn't need it. And I remember my mom telling my dad at the time I came home at the time I called them to come, or rather they came to visit me, my parents, and I told them to take my DVD, my TV. I didn't need it. That was when my dad said he knew that I was ready to roll. So there's a lot of experiences I can share from that. You know, so we can't just do it. But in everything, it was a rewarding experience because it made me the man I am today, which is a man who has the ability to withstand a lot of pressure, bounce back from a lot of things, and you know, never take no for an answer.